Morning, gang. My apologies for there. I was having some connectivity problems. I don't know what was going on there, but I reset my computer. Looks like I'm good to go now. My Wi-Fi is full too. So let's get right back into this. Okay, we'll start again. Summer-based training for college cross country junior year. Okay, and again, you'll see a progression from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior year, just like you'll see that in high school. Okay. And I've done over the last week or so every year in high school. And now tomorrow I'll be in senior year. So we'll be doing every year in college as well. That way you can see the difference between high school and college. Okay. And the summer based training is a bit different. And a lot of it revolves around the frequency of racing because we race less in college. And we're also running longer races in college. So a lot of this stuff has to be factored in. Okay. And again, if you're a coach or an athlete, you find this stuff helpful, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Okay. If you're not subscribed to the channel, especially, I greatly appreciate it. We're going to try to continue to build this channel. And I thank you for joining me. My apologies for the connectivity problem. So let's start this again. Okay. 2 lines in the middle separates the men from the women. The women are on the left, the men are on the right. So week 1, women run 6 miles Monday, the men run 7. Tuesday, women run 7 on Monday, the men run 8. Week 3, Wednesday, women run 6 miles and the men run 9. Thursday, women run 7 and the men run 7. Friday, the women run 5 and the men run 6. Okay. And Saturday, the women run 8 miles rolling and the men run 10 miles rolling. That means over rolling hills. And then Sunday, 3 miles easy for women, 4 miles easy for the men. Now, week 2, women run 6 on Monday, the men run 7. Tuesday, the women run 7 and the men run 9. Wednesday, the women run 9, the men run 10. Thursday, women run 7 and the men run 9. Friday, the women run 6 and the men run 7. Saturday, the women run 10 rolling, the men run 12 rolling. And then Sunday, 3 miles on easy on Sunday for the women, 4 easy on Sunday for the men. Okay. I generally go off day every third Sunday in this cycle here with juniors and seniors, as you can see here. Week 3, you probably see it again in week 6 and so on. Okay. So week 3, women run 7 on Monday, the men run 9. Tuesday, the women run 8, the men run 10. Wednesday, the women run 9 and the men run 11. Thursday, the women and the men, they both run 10 miles. Okay. Friday, the women run 8 and the men run 10. And Saturday, the women do 12 rolling, the men do 14 rolling. Okay. And then they're both off that Sunday. Okay. In week 3. Week 4, and again, this is about building miles in the first 4 weeks. Okay. Building miles to where you want them to be. And then you can start adding other components of the training, as you can see, as you will see. Okay. Week 4, women run 7 on Monday, the men run 9. Women run 9 Tuesday, the men run 10. Women run 10 Wednesday, and the men run 12. Women run 9 on Thursday, and the men run 10. Women run 7 Friday, the men run 9. And then long run, women are 13 rolling on Saturday, the men are 15 rolling. And then Sunday, 3 easy for women, 5 easy for the men. You'll see the volume is essentially about 20% or approximately 20% of the weekly volume in the Saturday long run. And then if you look at Wednesday, the semi-long run, it's about 75 to 80% of the long run itself. So it's just something to keep in mind. But this gets you on your feet for 2 times per week for an extended period of time. So it's a great way of compounding and building strength. Now, weeks 5 through 6, now we start to incorporate speed development, right? And a couple other things as well. So after week 6 is when we're going to start incorporating a couple other things too. So week 5, women run 9 Monday, women run 7, the men run 9. Tuesday, the women run 10, then they do 5 times 100 meter uphill. And the men also run 10 plus 5 times 100 meter uphill. Okay, it's a jog down easy afterward or walk down easy. It's always after the run. Before I go any further, we have a comment here. Yes, Chosen, the live is working good now. My apologies for that. I mean, there was some tech issue going on. So back to week 5. The women run 10 on Wednesday. The men run 12. The women run 9 Thursday. The men run 10. And Friday, the women run 8 and then 5 times 150 on the flat. The men run 9 and 5 times 150 on the flat. And again, it's a walk or jog equal back and then just progress. And you can go down from mile pace down to 800 meter pace. Okay. Just as a thought, it's good speed. It acts as good speed development for cross country, as track as well. And Saturday, 12 rolling for the women, 14 rolling for the men. Sunday, 3 easy for the women, 4 easy for the men. Now, week 6, 7 miles for the women on Monday, 9 for the men. Tuesday, women run 10, 5 times 150 meters uphill now. Men also run 10, and then 5 times 150-meter uphill as well afterward. The uphill runs and the speed development is always at the end of the run. Okay, women run 10 Wednesday, the men run 12. The women do 7 Thursday, the men run 8. On Friday, the women do 5, cut it back a little bit, and then they run 5 times the 200. And then men run 8, and then do 5 times the 200. Okay. Then Saturday, the women do 13 rolling, and the men do 15 rolling. And as you can see here, they're off on Sunday every 3 weeks, right? That consistent pattern of off days every 3 weeks remains, okay? Now, as opposed to high school, where we don't start doing tempos and stuff like that until week 9 through 12, we actually start doing it week 7 through 8, as you probably have seen through the other years in college as well. Okay, so week 7, 7 miles for the women on Monday, 9 for the men. Tuesday, 10 miles for the women, 5 by 200 meter uphill, 10 miles for the men, 5 by 2. I should say 200 meter uphill. My apologies. Okay. Each week, you're going to add 50 meters to the uphills and 50 meters to the flats. Okay. So 10 miles for women on Wednesday, 12 for the men. 9 for the women on Thursday, 10 for the men. Okay. And then the first part, so you do your warm up, your drills and strides, whatever it might be. Let's just say it's warm up 2 miles. Do a couple of drills and a couple of strides. You can even do a couple of transitional 200s if you want to find the pace that you want to look and run in the workout. But the workout is, for the women, it's 2 times 8 minute at tempo pace. You take a minute recovery in between each and 5 minutes after the second one. If you need 2 minutes, take 2 minutes. Okay. Then 5 by 250 meters on the back end, on the flats. For the men's, 2 times 10 minutes, a minute in between each or 2 minutes, and then 5 minutes after the rep, after the second rep, and then 5 by 250 on the flat as well. Speed development on the back end of the tempo as well, which simulates accelerating at the back end of a workout, which also simulates accelerating at the back end of a race. Okay. And then obviously you do your cool down. 12 rolling for the women on Saturday, 14 rolling for the men. Okay. And then 3 miles easy for women on Sunday, 4 easy for the men. Okay. The long one Saturday. Week 8, 7 for the women on Monday, 9 for the men. Tuesday, 10 miles and 5 by 250 uphill for the women. 10 miles, 5 by 250, and I should say 250, so my apologies there too. Typos here. 250 meters uphill for the men as well. Then Wednesday, 10 for the women, 12 for the men. You'll see a lot of consistent patterns, okay, which is good. Then 7 miles for the women Thursday, 8 miles for the men. And then Friday, again, warm up, drills and strides, right? And now we're going to do threshold pace, which is about 8 to 10 seconds faster per mile than tempo pace. And you can base what you ran for your most recent 1,500 a mile as to set your training paces for the tempo runs. Even if you ran it in May or June or whatever it might be, you can use it for those paces. And then as you progress throughout the season, you test your athletes at the end, and then you can reset training paces. So the workout is for women, 6 times an 800 at threshold, 1 minute recovery after each rep, 5 minutes after the last one, and 5 by 300s on the flat. For the men, 6 times 1K at threshold, 1 minute recovery after all the reps, except the last one's 5 minutes, 5 by 300 on the flat. And then you have your cool downs on the back end. Okay. Now you're alternating tempo and threshold. Okay. For a good 5 to 6 weeks. 13 rolling for women on Saturday, 15 rolling for men Saturday, 3 miles easy on Sunday for women, 4 miles easy for men on Sunday. So there's that. Now, weeks 9 and 10. You'll see the off day on Sunday and week 9 as well. Okay. So week 9, women do 7 miles Monday, men do 9. Then you have Tuesday, women and men, they run 10 miles. Okay. Both of them, and then 5 times 100 meters on uphill. We kind of reset back from the beginning. You can start at 50s if you like. We do 100s here. Okay. 5 times 100 meter on the uphill for both men and the women after the run. Women do 10 on Wednesday, men do 12. Women do 9 Thursday, men do 10. Okay. And then we're going to build off what you did on week 7. Warm up, drills and strides, transitional 200s if you need to. Okay. Then you're going to do, the women are going to go from 2 times 8 minutes to this time they're going to do 2 times 10 minutes at tempo. The same 1 minute recovery in between, or 2 minutes, and then 5 minutes after the second one, then 5 times 150 meters on the flat on the back end. Men are going to go from 2 times 10 minutes to 2 times 12:30. 12 and a half minutes at tempo. 1 to 2 minutes after the first rep, 5 minutes after the last run, 5 times 150 to finish off the workout. And then you cool down. 12 rolling for the women on Saturday, 14 rolling for the men, and then Sunday's off. Okay? Every third week, Sunday, they're off. And the off day is important too. Helps you factor in recovery and training as well. But at the end of the day, you want to sustain a longer period of peak training or peak racing. And the frequent off days are going to help you achieve that goal. Okay? So the last thing you want to do is do too much too soon and then be too sharp too soon. Okay? So week 10, women do 7 on Monday, men do 9. Tuesday, men and women, they're going to run 10 miles and then 5 times 150 on the uphill, jog down or walk down recovery. Okay, the uphills are always going to be on Tuesday. Wednesday, 10 for the women, 12 for the men. Thursday, 9 for the women, 10 for the men. Friday, again, we're building on what you did week 8. Okay? So the women are going to progress from 6 times 800 to 6 times 1K here. 1 minute recovery at threshold pace. So you're spending a little bit more time in the threshold zone. Okay? After a good warm-up, your drills and strides, whatever you need to do to set yourself up. And then 5 times 200 meters on the flats. And the men are going to progress from 6 times a K to 6 times 1200. Same 1 minute recovery at threshold pace, 5 minutes after the last rep. And then 5 times the 200 meters on the back end. And then you cool down. Okay? 13 rolling for women on Saturday, 15 rolling for men. And then Sunday, 3 easy for women, 4 easy for the men. Now we're down to the final 2 weeks here. Okay? So week 11, women run 7 on Monday, the men run 9. Oh, we got another comment here. Okay. Personalized program. Yes, I do, Michael Young. I do personalized programs. My email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com for those that need to reach me or have any questions or need customized programs. Okay, you can reach out to me if you'd like. blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. And actually, you know what I'll do? I'll put in the comments so you can see in writing. Okay. It's in the comment now. That's the email right there. So right back at it. Let's finish it off. Week 11, the women run 7 on Monday and men run 9. And then again, Tuesday, 10 miles for both, 5 times 200 meter uphill afterward. Then Wednesday, 10 for the women, 12 for the men. Thursday, 9 for the women, 10 for the men. And then Friday, you build off the tempo that you did week 9. So now instead of 2 times 10 minutes, it's 20 minutes consecutively. Tempo, take a 5-minute recovery, 5 times 200 meters on the back end. For the men, instead of 2 times 12.5 minutes, now it's 25 minutes consecutively at the same pace. Take a 5-minute recovery and then 5 times 200. 12 rolling for the women on Saturday, 14 rolling for the men. Obviously, you do a cool down on Friday too. And then Sunday, 3 easy for the women, 4 easy for the men. Now, week 12, last week of the summer, okay? 7 for the women on Monday, 9 for the men, 10 miles for both, men and women on Tuesday, 5 times 250 meters on the uphills. Okay, and now we scale it back a little bit next couple of days. Okay, women, 9 on Wednesday, men 12. On Thursday, women do 6, the men do 6. Scale them back because Friday we're going to test them. Okay, warm up drills and strides, do a couple 200s at pace. We're going to test the women at 2 kilometers, time trial on the track, and the men 3 kilometers, time trials on the track. Okay, see where they're at. And since people are training for 6K or 8K or 10K, it makes more sense to train them at 3K. I mean, to test them at 3K or 2K. If you want to test them at a mile, you can do that if you'd like. That's up to you. Or you can test them next week at a mile and see how close they are to the 3K, right, in terms of race equivalence. So you take an 8-minute recovery after your time trial, and then you do 5 times 300s on the flat, essentially from mile pace down to, let's say, 800 pace. Then you do cool down. And then 10 rolling on Saturday for the women, 12 rolling on Saturday for the men, and then we're off week 12, okay, on Sunday. So that's basically the training program laid out. A couple of things, okay? If you notice, we progress with the threshold. The reps get longer. We progress with the tempos. We put the pieces together. So you go from 2 times 8 minutes to 16 minutes, or 2 times 10 minutes to 20 minutes. But you're doing it all at the same pace. That way you're getting used to the same pace. But you're doing it instead of starting out from scratch and try to do 20, 25 minutes right off the bat and falling apart. There's a reason why I put the pieces together for you, to make it easier to adapt to the tempo, because you want to make sure you're locking into the right pace for the tempos based on your current fitness, okay? And threshold training, you're spending more time in the threshold zone by increasing the length of the reps. but you're running them at the same pace. Okay, you let races dictate when it's time to increase the paces in the training. Okay, and that's the key. Let that tell you. That way, you're not having to train over your head or your athletes train over their head. Because I see a lot. They'll say, I run. I can hang with those folks, but I'm not running the same races as they are. They're not. They're running much faster in races because they're more ready to recover from those workouts and translate that into races than you are. So there's a couple. It's important to keep that in mind. This is why the appropriate training paces are a good idea for everybody. So, and it also makes it easier to close the gap on the back end of the pack in cross country. 4, 5, 6, 7 runs, you want to close the gap to 1, 2, 3, right? So this is the type of stuff that helps you go from 90-second gap to 60-second, and then from 60-second gap to 30-second. And that's at the end of the day, that's what you want to do in cross country. You want to have a tight spread from 1 to 5, or even 1 to 7 if you're lucky enough. So, any other questions, gang? I want to thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we're going to do the same thing, but excuse me, we're going to do summer-based training for college senior year. And then after that, we're going to do 400, 800. Because I have a lot of folks asking me, what if I'm in the 4-8 group? What do I do in the summer? And what do I do in the fall? And that's a good question, okay? Because there are differences in the summer and the fall, okay? So I'll put that out there as well. And again, I'm going to do cross-country plans too. I'm going to do a fall cross-country plan for high school, a fall cross-country plan for college. And then I'm going to do a fall plan for 400, 800 folks as well. Just so you can see the difference between them. Okay, and where it's most applicable too, because 4-8 people might run periodically in cross-country racing in high school, sometimes as needed. They'll hardly ever run in college. And there are differences, obviously. There are roster requirements, roster limitations that have to be followed, adhered to, right? So, and that's a key. So, and that's a rule that can't be violated. It cannot be broken for compliance reasons. And this is stuff that you learn as a coach. You have to take compliance courses and stuff like that. So you have to adhere to these rules. And that's why this is why I go over this stuff in detail on this channel. This is why I want you to have a thorough understanding of the differences between the high school and college environment, racing, training, and so on. Okay. So, but thank you for joining me, everybody. Have a great day. And again, if you have any more questions, this is my email right there, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. I'm here to answer. I'm here to help. Have a great day and a great summer. Let's get ready for cross. See you next time.